At 4:59 a.m., while his empire slept, the most powerful man in the world was already awake. Not checking emails, not scrolling through social media, Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, was engaged in the most important battle of his day, the battle with himself. For 19 years, he ruled the largest empire in human history. He never lost a military campaign. He's remembered as one of the greatest leaders who ever lived. And it all started with what he did in the darkness before dawn. Today, I'm breaking down the exact 7 practices from Marcus Aurelius's morning routine that you can steal to build your own empire. By the end of this video, you'll have a proven system used by history's most successful philosopher king. And here's the thing. These aren't just ancient theories. I've been testing this routine for 90 days and the results have been extraordinary. So grab a notebook, because we're about to reverse engineer greatness. If you're new here, I'm your guide to ancient wisdom for modern success. Hit that subscribe button and let's build your empire, one morning at a time. Practice 1. Pre-dawn mental armor. The first practice begins before Marcus even leaves his bed. While lying there in the pre-dawn darkness, he would mentally prepare for the day's obstacles. This wasn't pessimism. This was strategic planning. Here's what he wrote in his private journal. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today, I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. They are all due to the offender's ignorance of what is good and what is evil." Now think about this. The most powerful man in the world expected problems. He didn't wake up hoping for a perfect day. He woke up prepared for reality. Here's how you adapt this for 2025. Instead of stumbling into your day hoping everything goes smoothly, spend your first 5 minutes awake doing what I call obstacle inoculation. Before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, mentally rehearse 3 potential obstacles you might face today. Maybe it's a difficult conversation with your boss. Maybe it's unexpected deadlines. Maybe it's technical problems. The key is Marcus's next line, "But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." He's reminding himself that difficult people aren't enemies. They're fellow humans making mistakes. Timmy. Cook uses a similar practice at Apple. He starts every day at 4:30 a.m., spending the first hour preparing mentally for the challenges ahead. He said that this practice is what allows him to stay calm during Apple's most stressful product launches. Your action step. Tonight, set your alarm 5 minutes earlier. Tomorrow morning, before you move, think through 3 potential obstacles and how you'll respond with wisdom, not emotion. This is how you build mental armor before the day's battles begin. Practice 2. The gratitude inventory. The second practice was Marcus's gratitude inventory. But this wasn't the shallow gratitude you see on Instagram. This was systematic appreciation for the people who shaped him. In Book 1 of his Meditations, Marcus spends 17 chapters listing what he learned from specific people in his life. His grandfather taught him good morals and the government of my temper. His father taught him modesty and a manly character. But here's what's brilliant about this practice. Marcus wasn't just being polite. He was reverse engineering success by identifying the exact qualities that made people great, then consciously adopting those qualities himself. Here's how to upgrade your gratitude practice. Instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my team," write, "I'm grateful for Sarah's ability to stay calm under pressure. I want to develop that quality." Instead of, "I'm grateful for my mentor," write, "I'm grateful for how John asks better questions instead of giving quick answers. I want to learn that skill." See the difference? Shallow gratitude makes you feel good for 5 minutes. Strategic gratitude makes you better forever. Oprah Winfrey has kept a gratitude journal for over 15 years, but she doesn't just list things she's thankful for. She writes about the lessons those experiences taught her and how she can apply them going forward. Neuroscience backs this up. When you combine gratitude with learning, you're literally rewiring your brain to notice opportunities for growth instead of just things that make you happy. Your action step. Spend 10 minutes each morning writing about one person you're grateful for and one specific quality they have that you want to develop. Then ask yourself, how can I practice that quality today? This is how you turn gratitude into a growth strategy. Practice 3. Philosophy as fuel. The third practice was Marcus's daily dose of philosophy, but he didn't study it like an academic subject. He studied it like medicine for his soul. Marcus wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Notice, he didn't say philosophy was for understanding the world. It was for changing yourself. Here's what most people get wrong about studying philosophy. They treat it like information consumption instead of mental training. Marcus didn't read to impress people at dinner parties. He read to become unshakable, modern. Neuroscience proves Marcus was right. Dr. Andrew Huberman's research shows that reading philosophical texts for 15-20 minutes each morning literally changes your brain's default mode network, the neural pathways that determine how you think throughout the day. Bill Gates reads for 1 hour every morning, but he doesn't just read business books. He reads philosophy, history, and science because he says it helps me think better about everything else I do during the day. Here's your modern Marcus Aurelius reading stack. Start with Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, 10 minutes, 1 letter per day. Then, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Then Meditations itself, but only one passage at a time. But here's the crucial part. Don't just read. After each passage, ask yourself 3 questions. What is this teaching me? How does this apply to my current challenges? What will I do differently today because of this wisdom? When you study philosophy this way, you're not just learning ancient ideas. You're installing better decision-making software in your brain. Your action step: choose one philosophical text. Read for just 10 minutes each morning, but write one specific way you'll apply what you learned that day. Philosophy without application is just entertainment. Here's your modern Marcus Aurelius reading stack. Start with Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, 10 minutes, 1 letter per day. Then, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Then Meditations itself, but only one passage at a time. But here's the crucial part. Don't just read. After each passage, ask yourself 3 questions. What is this teaching me? How does this apply to my current challenges? What will I do differently today because of this wisdom? When you study philosophy this way, you're not just learning ancient ideas. You're installing better decision-making software in your brain. Your action step: choose one philosophical text. Read for just 10 minutes each morning, but write one specific way you'll apply what you learned that day. Philosophy without application is just entertainment. Philosophy with application is transformation. Practice 4. The Emperor's physical preparation. The fourth practice was physical preparation. And Marcus understood something most modern leaders miss. The body trains the mind. As emperor, Marcus could have stayed in bed until noon surrounded by servants. Instead, he insisted on maintaining the physical discipline of a soldier. He trained with weapons, practiced horseback riding, and maintained the fitness standards of his army. He wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Because most of what we do and say is not essential." But physical training was always essential, never optional. Here's why. Physical stress in the morning creates mental resilience for the rest of the day. When you push your body beyond comfort before 6 a.m., everything else feels manageable. Stanford research confirms this. People who do intense physical exercise in the morning show 40% better stress management throughout the day. Their cortisol levels stay stable, their decision-making improves, and they report feeling more confident. Navy SEAL Commander Jocko Willink has been doing this for decades. He's in the gym by 4:45 a.m. every single day, not because he loves working out, but because he knows it makes him mentally unstoppable for the next 18 hours. Now, you don't need to become a gladiator, but you need to do something that makes your body work harder than it's comfortable with. Maybe it's 20 minutes of strength training. Maybe it's a challenging run. Maybe it's a demanding yoga session. The key is intensity, not duration. You want to elevate your heart rate, challenge your muscles, and prove to yourself that you can do hard things before most people are awake. Here's what happens. When you skip physical preparation, your body stays in sleep mode all morning. Your mind feels foggy, your energy is low, and small problems feel overwhelming. When you train your body first, your mind wakes up powerful. Your action step. Tomorrow, Do 20 minutes of challenging physical activity before you check your phone or eat breakfast. It doesn't matter what it is, just make your body work. This is how you build the physical foundation for mental toughness. Practice 5. Mental rehearsal for mastery. The fifth practice was mental rehearsal, and this is where Marcus showed his genius as a strategic thinker. Before every major decision, every important meeting, every battle, Marcus would visualize exactly how he wanted to respond. Not just what he wanted to happen, but how he would handle whatever actually happened. Olympic athletes have used this technique for decades, but Marcus was doing it 800 years earlier. He understood that the mind can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Neuroscience proves this. When you mentally rehearse an activity, the same neural pathways fire as when you actually perform it. You're literally practicing without practicing. Jeff Bezos uses this before every important Amazon decision. He spends 15 minutes visualizing not just his presentation, but every possible question, every potential objection, and how he'll respond with clarity and confidence. Here's the difference. When you wing it, you're reactive. Your emotions take over, you say things you regret, and you miss opportunities. When you mentally rehearse, you're proactive. You stay calm, you think clearly, and you perform at your best. Here's your modern adaptation. Each morning, identify the 3 most important interactions you'll have that day. Maybe it's a difficult conversation with a colleague. Maybe it's a presentation to your team. Maybe it's a sales call with a potential client. Spend 5 minutes mentally rehearsing each one. See yourself walking into the room confident and prepared. Hear yourself speaking clearly and persuasively. Feel yourself staying calm if things get challenging. Think of it like shadowboxing for your mind. Boxers don't practice their moves during the fight. They practice them thousands of times beforehand so they're automatic when they need them. Your action step. Tonight, identify tomorrow's 3 most important interactions. Tomorrow morning, spend 15 minutes total mentally rehearsing how you want to show up for each one. This is how you turn anxiety into preparation and preparation into performance. Practice 6. Priority setting like an emperor. The 6th practice was priority setting, but Marcus approached it differently than modern productivity gurus. He didn't just ask what was urgent, he asked what was essential. His famous question, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Because most of what we do and say is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Ask, is this something that's up to me? Notice the 2-part filter. Is it necessary? And is it up to me? Marcus was running an empire, but he still said no to most things. Not because he was lazy, but because he was strategic. Most people fail at productivity because they try to do everything. They have 47 items on their to-do list and wonder why they feel overwhelmed. Marcus had literally thousands of people asking for his attention every day, but he only focused on what truly mattered. Warren Buffett does something similar. He tells people to write down their top 25 goals, circle the top 5, then actively avoid the other 20. He calls them avoid at all costs because they're just distractions from what truly matters. Here's Marcus's system adapted for 2025. Every morning, ask yourself 3 questions about each task on your list. First, is this necessary for my long-term goals? Second, is this something only I can do? Third, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer to any question is no, eliminate it. Don't delegate it, don't postpone it, don't overthink it, eliminate it completely. Steve Jobs used this principle to transform Apple. When he returned in 1997, Apple had dozens of confusing products. He eliminated 90% of them and focused on making a few products exceptional. The result? Apple became the most valuable company in the world. Here's your practical system. Each morning, identify exactly 3 priorities. Not 5, not 10, not a dozen. 3. One must-do that moves your biggest goal forward. One should-do that maintains important relationships or systems. One could-do that improves your future capabilities. Your action step. Right now, look at your current to-do list. Apply Marcus's filter. Is this necessary? Is this up to me? Will this matter in 5 years? Eliminate everything that doesn't pass all 3 tests. This is how you think like an emperor instead of a busy fool. Practice 7. Empire Mindset Activation. The seventh and final practice was what I call Empire Mindset Activation. Marcus would end his morning routine by expanding his perspective beyond his personal concerns. He wrote, "Remember that you are an actor in a play, which is as the author wants it to be. If short, then short. If long, then long. If he wants you to play a poor man, play even that role skillfully. And similarly, if a cripple, or a public official, or a private citizen." This wasn't about being passive. It was about understanding your role in something bigger than yourself. Marcus saw himself not just as an individual pursuing personal success, but as a leader responsible for the well-being of millions. Here's what this means for you. Before you start your day focused on your problems, your goals, your agenda, spend a few minutes thinking about your impact on others. How can you serve? How can you contribute? How can you leave things better than you found them? Elon Musk does this every morning. He doesn't start his day thinking about making money or building companies. He starts by thinking about how to make humanity a multi-planetary species. That empire mindset drives everything else he does. When you start your day thinking small, your deadlines, your stress, your problems, you operate from scarcity. When you start thinking big, your contribution, your impact, your legacy, you operate from abundance. Marcus understood that every decision he made rippled outward to affect millions of people. You may not rule an empire, but you influence more people than you realize. Your family, your team, your community, your industry. Here's your modern practice. Each morning, before you dive into your personal to-do list, spend 5 minutes writing about your bigger purpose. How does today's work connect to your long-term impact? How can you serve something larger than yourself? Maybe you're a teacher shaping future leaders. Maybe you're building a business that creates jobs. Maybe you're developing technology that solves important problems. Whatever your role, think like an emperor. How can you use your power to serve others? Your action step. Before you start working on your personal goals tomorrow, write one paragraph about how your work serves others. This isn't about being selfless, it's about thinking strategically. When you operate from empire mindset, you make better decisions, attract better opportunities, and build something that lasts. Now, let's put all 7 practices together into a system you can actually use. Integration and Action Plan, 19-21-30. Here's how to combine all 7 practices into your own 45-minute Emperor morning routine. 2505. Mental armor. While still in bed, mentally rehearse 3 potential obstacles and how you'll respond wisely. 5 to 5:15. Gratitude inventory. Write about one person you're grateful for and one quality they have that you want to develop. 15 to 5:25. Philosophy as fuel. Read one passage from a philosophical text and write how you'll apply it today. 25 to 5:45. Physical preparation. 20 minutes of challenging exercise to wake up your body and mind. 3 to concept mental rehearsal. Visualize your 3 most important interactions for the day. 8 to 6:10. Priority setting. Identify your 3 essential tasks using Marcus's filter questions. 10 to 6:15. Empire mindset. Write one paragraph about how today's work serves something bigger than yourself. Compare this to how most people start their day. Hit snooze 3 times, check social media in bed, rush through breakfast while reading emails, arrive at work already stressed and reactive. Here's my challenge to you. The 30-day Marcus Aurelius Morning Challenge. Start with just one practice tomorrow. Master it for a week, then add the second practice. By day 30, you'll have the complete system. Track 3 metrics. How you feel at the end of each day on a scale of 1 to 10. How many of your 3 priorities you actually completed. How often you stayed calm during unexpected challenges. Share your progress in the comments below. Tell me which practice you're starting with and why. I read every comment, and I want to support your empire-building journey. I've put together a complete resource list for this challenge. The books I mentioned, a printable tracking sheet, and a detailed implementation guide. You'll find everything linked in the description below. One warning: don't try to implement all 7 practices on day 1. Marcus built these habits over years, not days. Start small, be consistent, and let the compound effect work its magic. Remember, Marcus didn't become a great emperor because he was born special. He became great because he was willing to do what others wouldn't do. He chose to wake up early, think deeply, and prepare thoroughly while his competitors slept in and hoped for the best. Conclusion: 2130-23 on. Marcus Aurelius ruled the largest empire in human history for 19 years. He faced plagues, wars, betrayals, and countless crises. Through it all, he remained calm, wise, and effective. How? Because he understood that empires aren't built during the day when everyone's watching. They're built in the quiet hours before dawn when no one sees the work you're putting in. You have a choice every morning. You can wake up reactive, checking your phone, letting the day happen to you. Or you can wake up proactive, training your mind, preparing for excellence. When you master these 7 practices, you don't just have better mornings, you have a better life. You show up to work already mentally prepared. You handle stress with the wisdom of emperors. You build something that lasts. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I publish new videos every week on ancient wisdom for modern success. Next week, I'm breaking down Seneca's evening routine for reflection and recovery. Drop a comment below telling me, which of these 7 practices will you start with tomorrow? And if you're already doing some of these, share how they've impacted your life. Your empire starts tomorrow at 5 a.m. The question is, will you be ready to build it? Until next time, think like a philosopher, train like an athlete, and lead like an emperor.